Hey everybody, welcome back to Waiting for a Name. This is Will Tart.
This is Jordan Black.
Jordan, we are now into multiple episodes.
That's the fourth.
What the shit are you eating?
Strawberry flavored Welch's fruit snacks.
Ah, that's cool. That works for me.
Let's keep going. We'll talk.
New snacks every time.
Yeah, that's the last one. We'll keep it. We'll try to keep the variety. We're going to start running out of shit to eat
Yeah.
on this show.
We'll have a spin-off podcast that's, oh shit, what am I eating right now?
Oh shit, what are we going to eat? And that'll be what it's called.
Yeah.
So, how's your week been?
Long.
It's just, long.
Long.
Yeah.
4 to 1s. It's nice being off at 1 o'clock.
Ow!
Kick your ass.
Ow!
Yeah.
Beer just got up my eye.
Ale.
It's beer. Beer is the overlapping term for lagers and
I
ales.
guess that's true.
Yeah.
Only it's not made from hops.
Yeah. It's made from different shit. But yes, I'm sorry about that, audience. I took a drink of my Red's Apple Ale that I have here, and I took it out of my mouth and it splashed into my eye, and that's totally what she said. Holy shit.
Oh, that makes me want to tell a story, but we can't yet.
We can, why not?
Because it's a road trip story.
We can tell road trip stories in here. I mean, it's not like I told the road trip story.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're saving the road trip stories for yours.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can tell it.
No, it's the one with the chick when we were in Surprise, Arizona.
Yeah, tell that shit. Tell that shit, dude. That's
Texas
hilarious.
Mariners game.
Rangers-Mariners game.
Rangers Mariners game. Sorry, I was thinking Texas Rangers
and Seattle Mariners.
And then it mixed up. But anyways, we were watching a Rangers-Mariners game, and there was this lovely group sitting behind us.
Yeah, clearly just a beautiful family.
Very, very attractive people, and they're sitting behind us, and it's Andrew, me, and Jordan sitting next to each other.
On the lawn.
On the
it's
lawn.
Like a lawn on a rake in the outfield. And surprise.
And this lady is just giving us, that's what she said, just one right after the other.
Firing them. Because, yeah, she
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, she had sprayed like suntan lotion,
Sunscreen.
Because, I mean, they were smart about it. And they brought sunscreen because they live in Arizona. And I guess they understand how the sun works there.
That's why I brought the poncho.
But yeah, and she sprayed it, and I guess it got in her eyes and all over her face and in her mouth. And so it was just, and like you could tell her husband I think her husband, and it was like a friend of theirs or like their husband's brother or something like that.
Oh, they were
as she was saying it, they were kind of like, did it get in your mouth? She's like, yeah, I got all in my mouth. It tastes disgusting. It's all salty. And she would just, it was insane. And me and Andrew and Will were all just fucking faces straight ahead,
trying not to laugh.
And we were just
so
knocking our elbows together.
It was so hard not to laugh because you were like, okay, I got this under control. I've got my laughter down. And it's all in my hair.
This is going to be so difficult to wash out.
We're just like,
no, please God, don't let her do it again. No.
I guess I'm just gonna rub it in.
Man, yeah, that's the idea for the show. I guess we can talk. Can I talk about that on the show? Because I mean, it's movie or show, TV show related. So I'm a screenwriter. So is William.
Yeah.
We're both screenwriters. And yesterday I came up with an idea for a TV show. Actually, there's two ideas for something, and they both are theater related, which goes together with what we were talking about last week on the show. Essentially,
Inception.
Yeah, it's an episode inside an episode inside an episode. But basically, I had an idea for a show which is called Thespians, or it might be called Theater, like THEATER /arty.
Ha.
It's probably be like theater, yeah, like that kind of thing. And so it would only be like a thing where you'd get it if you were like someone who had actually been to a theater class. But basically the show, either Thespians or Theater, is basically just going to follow like a theater troupe and just a bunch of stupid fucking crazy shenanigans. Last night, basically the first episode will just be auditions for something. And so it'll just, because that'll be a good way of getting everyone's characters like introduced.
Oh yeah,
and then you can see what kind of
slating and all of that.
The whole thing is I want to have a bunch of internal dialogue, like everyone talking to themselves internally. So like literally the first episode, the first scene, it was like, his name is Cliff Anderson. He's like the cool guy in the troupe, which is not still like he's the cool guy, quotation marks.
He's the jock that's not really a jock.
Yeah, he's the whatever, the Finn from
he's Finn.
Glee.
Yeah.
No, but he's like a dick. Like he's got like a leather jacket and ripped jeans and blue suede shoes on.
Stay golden, pony boy.
Yeah, and then so he's sitting there, and like this girl's auditioning, and her name is Ginger, and she's got like red hair and freckles, and her name isn't Ginger, but everyone just calls her that because no one gives a shit. And so her name is Ginger, and she's auditioning, but she's auditioning for like a Jewish character. And it's not even like set up what kind of a show that like what kind of a show they're auditioning for, but she's auditioning for a Jewish character, but she does like a Southern accent, and so she's like, "But Daddy, I didn't want to go to town." and then Cliff internally is like, "Oh, come on, Ginger, this is Bush League shit, man. It's late." and then you see the director Stratford, because our director in theater was Stratton. Yeah, Stratford. He's like internally, you hear him say like, "God, Ginger, are you fucking serious? Slate. Hey, Ginger, can you slate for us, please?" And then she's all nervous. She's like, "Hi, I'm Ginger. I'm Ginger Hawley, and I will be auditioning for the role of Sarah Glinsberg." And and then she goes into it again, and then you see. Then Cliff is like, "What the fuck is she doing? Like, you're auditioning for the Jewiest of Jews. Like, how are you gonna sit there and act like you're a Southern woman? I mean, this is in fucking Brooklyn. How are you gonna act like a Southern woman?" And then you see Stratford. He's like, "Okay, this is getting really boring." And he checks his watch. He's like, "Okay, 15 more seconds for her to make this interesting, or else I'm cutting it." So he sits there and he goes, and he looks at his thing, and in parentheses this is as if to like say, "And go." And then Ginger, you see her on stage, and she's like moving her mouth, but then in the internal dialogue takes over, and she's like, "Fuck! Everyone looks so bored. I need to make this interesting. I'm gonna pull the old fake gun trick." And so she pulls out a gun. "Everybody freeze! Reach your hands for the sky. No one's leaving this unless if it's on the back of a cart." And then you see Stratford go, "All right, there it goes. This is now we're cooking." And he pulls out like a thing of popcorn, and starts eating. And then Cliff's all pissed off because like that's just cheap. That's cheap. And then he's like, "Please
pull out the guns trick."
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, just die with some dignity, like internally." And then she goes, "Bang, bang, bang!" And after she's getting shot, and it's like a Mexican standoff, and everyone's dead, and she dies, and she's like, she gargles a bunch, and then she dies, and then she farts on stage, and then everyone in the room's like, and Ginger's eyes shoot open, like completely breaks character. Like, "Oh god!" And Cliff is like, "Riveting, love it, greatest performance ever." And then everyone's like, "Dude, shut the fuck up." Oh man, yeah. So it'll just be tons of yeah. And then the whole audition thing it'll be the whole episode will just be segments of auditions and people internally thinking about it and judging each other. Because as much as everyone likes to believe that theater kids are super supportive, they're not.
Nope.
We're not supportive people. We're very judgmental.
We're supportive of some people.
Yeah, some people, but the other people that we hate that are annoying and then that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, fuck them. Who cares? Yeah, I named a character Wally after Grayson Gilliam, and he'll just be the adorable schmuck. It's just cute.
He runs around and does stuff for you, and he's always nice.
Yeah, he's just but he's just like a punching bag also. Yeah, to a degree. Anyway, so that's the idea for the show, and then the movie would be basically like the day of. Like the first performance of a show, so it would be from like the beginning of the school day, all the way through to the opening curtain, and that'd be the last second of the movie. Would be the curtain opening and everyone in costume, like, yeah. I hate that I can't do. Like, I wish this was a video podcast where you can see my hand gestures, because I did it as though I was like tipping a hat. Like
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands. But yeah, and so basically it would just be like everything that could possibly go wrong on the first day of a show, and it does. Like everyone's sick.
Oh yeah,
and everyone gets bronchitis.
Everything that we went through.
Yeah, everything that everyone goes through during the first week of a show.
Every single time, and you freak out about it every single time. Like it's never happened before. Like we don't have protocols for this thing.
Yeah, like we know how to fucking deal with this stuff. Like throat coat stations at every fucking dressing room.
Man. You can only order that shit online.
And
now.
herbal tea.
Throat coat.
Yeah, man, that's a theater kid's best friend. I think we talked
recommended
about that
by
week.
singers. Yeah, recommended by singers everywhere. If you look on CBS.com, it's like, well, there's a review by a singer 5 stars. There's a review by a singer 5 stars.
Yeah,
there's a review by a singer.
I don't even know the actual like brand name. It's just
throat coat.
Is it really called throat coat?
It's called throat coat.
Oh wow, I thought that was just like a slang term for it.
It's called throat coat.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those are just my ideas for shows. I figured since we haven't totally been hanging out for like an hour and a half already.
I know.
Where I could have very well told you this off this thing. So if any of you fucks try to steal my ideas for movies, I'll sue your ass.
It's an audio format.
Well, I mean, they can still try to use the plot. They just can't use any of the lines that we said already.
But you have a timestamp.
Yeah, that says I came up with this on this date. And then if like we can prove that you listen to this, then you're really fucked.
Yeah.
Then you owe me money.
Yeah.
Anyway, so don't you fucking try it, anybody. So yeah,
it's a good way to talk to the listeners.
Yeah,
you fucking pieces of shit.
I swear to God, you bunch of untrustworthy bastards.
Listen here.
All right, so let's talk about movies because that's basically
movies.
I think this is just turning into a movie podcast / like
movies,
entertainment podcast.
I think that's
deals
solid.
with movies, shows, and theater.
That is something that we know a little about.
Yes, theater and movies. And
burps
and burping. I think
I can't burp.
Really?
I can burp like if it comes down to it, like if it happens.
Yeah.
Like it just happens, but I can't like burp. Like when I'm like, oh, I could really go for a burp right now. Like when you can feel it though, like not even like making myself. Yeah. You're like, I need to burp. My stomach just hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks. You squat it out.
Yeah, squat it out, man.
Yeah.
I teach you that trick. Mm-hmm. Squat it out.
Well, that's with farts, but I don't know. I feel like it would work with burps. It just goes the other way down the street.
You just do a handstand on the wall.
Yeah.
You just do push-ups.
Yeah, and then you burp. Okay, so we'll talk about movies.
Movies.
What do we have? We have action movies first. Then we'll discuss.
You talk action first?
Yeah, we'll talk action first.
Okay.
I think it's an overlapping thing, because. Yeah, I've been watching more action movies than I usually do.
It's because action movies are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm watching a lot more action movies than I usually do recently. Like, I watched Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage, which is a wonderful fucking movie.
Yep.
It's about the Navajo code talkers in World War II because the Japanese were decoding all of our messages.
And then Navajo language is so complicated.
And it's obscure, and they never heard it before.
Well, yeah,
it's very small.
It's very complicated.
Yeah,
it's very, very complicated.
Mm-hmm. So they couldn't crack the code. Nope. And so the whole thing takes place in the Battle of Saipan, which is an island. It was a very pivotal battle for the United States military force in the Pacific. Anyway, so it was an awesome movie, and like. The whole time I was sitting there going like Nick Cage has so little self-awareness to be like, because he gets injured at the beginning of the movie. He gets like a grenade that blows up and it fucks up his inner ear, and so his equilibrium is all fucked, and also he can't hear very well, and so he has a nurse like help him do like a scheme to get him back in war, and I'm like, that's not the best decision to be making, man. Well, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be honest with yourself so that you don't get anyone else killed because you're fucked up in the head.
It happens it's the same thing with Medal of Honor winners.
Yeah,
these guys who like win the Medal of Honor, that's like a death sentence for somebody who's a military career.
Yeah,
because you win it and then you sit behind a desk and you push pencils for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
And so they'll like figure out ways to scheme around it, to get back into the field. Yeah. Same thing with Purple Heart winners and Bronze Stars and Silver Star guys.
Yeah.
So
it's just, and I mean like the Battle of Saipan was just super deadly. It was terrible.
Well, the Pacific War Front was.
Yeah, it was.
You're fighting people who are willing to fight to the last person.
Yeah, like they're not.
They're willing to charge you.
We had to blow up 2 of their cities.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, we had to blow up 2 of their cities just to let them know, like, hey, we're gonna have to kill all of you.
2.
Yeah,
it took 2. Yeah. We had the only atomic bomb in the world and dropped it on a city and decimated like hundreds of thousands of people, and they were still like, no, we're still gonna fight you.
Yeah, and so they had to fucking do it again like 2 days later
because they were like, we don't believe you have another one.
Yeah,
luckily so we only had 2.
We had to prove that we could build more. So yeah, but yeah, so it was just horrific fighting. So the whole thing was just like FUBAR from the very beginning. Which, if you're not a military buff, FUBAR means fucked up beyond all recognition, and essentially it is just terrible because people were dying everywhere. And so I mean, like, there's that, but at the same time, I feel like if they didn't have like a command or a sergeant that was like suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, I feel like there would be a little bit, it would have went a little better at least.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so it is. But yeah, and the actors in the movie were incredible. I don't remember the Native American actor's name. I'll look it up real quick while we're talking about it. But both of the Navajo code talkers, Charlie and Benyazi was their names. and they were both really great. Do you remember the death scene from Charlie? Charlie dies, you guys.
Yeah.
Spoiler if you haven't ever seen the movie. Remember the death scene with him?
Yes.
It's so intense where him and his sergeant, basically they're both like issued like a commanding officer that is basically their job is to make sure that the code code doesn't get into the hands of the Japanese. So they were basically told, hey, if they are about to get captured, you fucking kill them. Like, you kill your code talker, because we can't let the code get compromised, because then our guys are all going to start dying because we can't code messages.
It's the age-old trait of one man for thousands, or thousands for one.
Yeah. And so, like, his sergeant was with him, and like, they were fucking fighting and shit, and he ended up like stabbing a guy, and then he got his head cut off by a samurai sword. And that was played by Christian Slater, that sergeant. And he got his head cut off. And I remember, like, as a kid seeing that shit, it fucked me up. Like, I saw a guy's head just get cut off, and it doesn't because whenever he gets it cut off, it's not like it's super graphic in the cutting off, but you still see the guy's head on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's the more fucked up part for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a guy's head get removed from his body rather than see his head toppling on the floor.
Yeah.
And much rather.
Well, it's like in the Patriot when the dude gets hit in the head with the cannonball.
Oh yeah.
It's like a split second. You're like, wow, that was crazy.
God, that was so graphic.
But you're not like
terrified by it.
You're not like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
like,
fucking
that could be me.
Yeah, but then you see a guy's head on the ground, and you're like, oh fuck, that guy's head used to be on that guy's body.
Yeah.
And then like Charlie is like fucking just fighting like a warrior, like a fucking Native American warrior, just stabbing people with this awesome custom knife made out of like a tooth of a buffalo or something, and he was just killing all these Japs, and then they were like captured him because they were like, hey, he's one of those code talker guys, we need to capture him. And so Nicolas Cage's character comes around the corner and sees that, and he tries to shoot him, but he doesn't have a bullet, so he fucking just tosses a grenade. And like Charlie sees him, and he's kind of like yes, do it, gives him that kind of a look. And then you just kind of like Brett Favre tosses it into the room with them.
Shuffle pass.
Yeah, he does. He just shuffle passes it in with his hand, and it just right on him, just lands on his chest, like kills all of them. And then Ben Benghazi, he comes back. His Kotar, because he was like off on another thing doing something else, and he wasn't around whenever this big ass attack happened. Yeah. And he comes back afterwards like, hey, I can't find Charlie. And Nick Cage is like all fucked up because he had to just do that. Yeah. And he's like, he's in there. And he points back to the building, and he walks in and sees him dead. And he's like, what happened? And he's freaking out, and he's like, I killed him. and then Ben gets all pissed off, and the fact that he just doesn't understand, like, you guys are the most valuable thing we have right now in this war. You guys, if you get captured, like, this whole war's fucked.
They're Enigma machines, right? Like, that's what the Nazis had. The Nazis had Enigma machines, which is a machine that made code, and then it always changed. The code would always change. Mm-hmm. It was never the same, and only another Enigma machine could translate it. Mm-hmm. Well, anytime we would get close to an Enigma machine, they would just blow it up. Mm-hmm. I mean, they would destroy it, and that's what they were. That's what the Windtalkers were.
Yeah, they're human Enigma machines.
Exactly.
But yeah, they were. The cast of this movie is amazing. You got Nicolas Cage, Adam Beach that plays Benghazi, which isn't a household name as far as actors are concerned. No. But Adam Beach, he's one of the he's pretty much one of the only Native American actors that are were big in the early 2000s. Christian Slater. Then there's Mark Ruffalo, Peter Stormare, Noah Emmerich. Then there's Roger Willey who played Charlie. Then there's Brian Van Holt is in it. Let's see. There's a couple other people. Oh, Jason Isaacs. What's his name? He played. Malfoy's dad.
Yes.
Yeah, Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius.
Yeah, that guy was in it. He played their boss.
He also
who
plays,
had to be like.
He also plays the
kill him.
The colonel in The Patriot.
Yeah, in The Patriot. Boom. Everything ties together.
Full circle. Also, that's what my mother says I look like when I have my hair pulled back.
You do. You look kind of like
the widow's peak.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very late 1700s hairstyle.
I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. I wish that I could grow hair like that. But yeah, that he played the guy who was basically like you gotta kill him if they get captured. He was the guy who was like very.
Well, he's always that guy, right?
Yeah, he was the guy who was very just. You have to do this.
He's always the bad guy, or he's always like the dick. Like that's his character.
Yeah, but like. It was a really great movie, and then at the end, like the code ends up like saving all of their lives. And, yeah, it's like okay, awesome, because they get like a plane to come in and save
based
their
on
asses.
True story.
Yeah, but then Nicolas Cage dies at the end, and it's a sad moment.
Nick Cage has got to die. Nick Cage is either got to die.
Yeah, like that, and then like Joe, he has to die at the end of that.
Face Off.
Did you ever? Yeah, Face Off. Did you ever see Joe?
Well. Technically, Nick Cage doesn't die.
Technically, Nick Cage is the one.
He's die.
I mean, like John Travolta is the last man standing technically because like at the end of the movie, he's like the guy who walks in and hugs everyone, which like that's gotta fuck up their family.
Without licking his daughter's face.
Yeah, that's gotta fuck up their family a little bit. Like there had to have been a lot of therapy. There had to have been a lot of therapy after that.
Think about it. He slept with the dude's wife like.
Yeah,
as much as he possibly could.
Yeah, and like that, knowing that is terrible, and so you've got this like association in your mind of this mass murderer being that face, and so I'm sure it would fuck with him a little bit.
Yep.
For at least like 3 years, there was at least a 3-year grace period at the end of that where it was like, this is all fucked, and they had to like save their marriage probably.
Yep.
Oh God, it would all have been terrible.
Dad shot himself with a harpoon gun.
Huh?
He shoots him with a harpoon.
Yeah. Okay, I just didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great movie.
I know, it's a fantastic
I hadn't
movie.
seen the movie ever until you showed it to me.
It's one of the best, worst movies ever.
Yeah.
Like, the premise is like, really? This is fucking stupid.
And
then you watch it, and then you're like, no, this is not that bad.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. But yeah, and like Joe, and have you seen Joe yet?
Yes.
It's on Netflix. It's an awesome movie.
Yep.
And he ends up getting shot at the end of it.
Yep.
And that's
the funny thing about Nick Cage. Nick Cage either hits or misses entirely. You either get like,
but it's still an enjoyable movie.
Well, yeah.
If he misses.
You either get Joe and Face Off, or you get Ghost Rider.
Yeah, or you get Wind Talkers.
Yeah. Or sometimes you get National Treasures.
Yeah, is that? I'm not sure which one that is because I love National Treasure.
National Treasure is
whenever I was a kid. Whenever I was a kid, I loved him, but I don't know. I haven't seen him nearly any time.
Love
recently.
National Treasure.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna end up being like the thing from How I Met Your Mother. Whenever like I love to screw over. I forget the guy's name.
Thou shall not lie with fat chicks.
Yeah. So I thought you were gonna be like, I love to hate that movie.
No, I love National Treasure. I think National Treasure is a fantastic movie. But think of the lineup you've got in there, though. You got Nick Cage. You've got, you've got Boromir. That's all he is to me.
Yeah, I think of him as
Boromir and the guy who dies at the beginning of Equilibrium.
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark.
In Game of Thrones.
And he's the dude who dies at the beginning of Equilibrium, which is a movie you need to watch. Have you seen Equilibrium with Batman?
No.
I don't know what that actor's name is either. I know his name, but I don't know his name. Diane Kruger, Justin Bartha, Sean Bean. That's his name. Sean Bean.
Really?
Yes.
It's not the name you would imagine Boromir having.
I know. His name is Sean Bean. And it's just a great lineup of actors, and they all work really well together, and it's funny, and there's action. There's
a badass story about Boromir whenever they were filming Lord of the Rings, the first one. Whenever what was the like
he's afraid of flying. Flying in general.
Okay.
But he's terrified of helicopters.
Yeah.
Like deathly afraid of helicopters because one time they were flying and the bottom dropped out of their helicopter and it fell like 200 feet before it caught itself.
Yeah.
And so he was like, nope, I will take a boat, I will swim, I will hike, I will do whatever, I will not get in a helicopter.
Yeah, so they had to fly in a helicopter to the top of a mountain, and he was just like in full costume.
In full Boromir costume, just climbing the side of a mountain
just
in New
trekking
Zealand.
up a mountain. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Like
man.
climbing, like scaling the side of a mountain that was like rocks next to a waterfall.
Oh, wow.
Sean Bean in Boromir costume with sword and armor. Just
that's ridiculous.
Hiking up the side of a mountain.
The Tree of Gondor on his chest.
Yep.
Man.
It's awesome.
Okay, so
awesome.
What is your favorite Well, I mean, there are so many different kind of. Okay, we'll do 3 different categories of action movie.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do sci-fi action movie.
Okay.
We'll do medieval / fantasy action movie, and then we'll do like war action movie, war/spy action movie.
And then we should do just regular action movie.
Just all together, just
like modern day action movie.
I mean, that's the whole. All of them are
like,
modern.
But I'm saying like Jason Statham. Or Bruce Willis type action movies, you know.
Yeah, so like spy movies or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do. Okay, so what's your favorite sci-fi action movie?
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh.
You didn't think about this, right? I'll give you mine first and let you think, because I know. Starship Troopers.
God, Starship Troopers is so good.
Yeah, but it's so bad.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so cheesy and dumb. Like the brain.
I have so many favorite sci-fi movies.
The brain alien that there are.
The Queen.
It's not just sci-fi movies. It's like sci-fi action.
I know sci-fi. I know. I have so many favorite sci-fi.
There's like Star Wars, Star Trek. But Starship Troopers is my favorite just because it's so lame that I just adore it. Like every time I see it on TV, I have to watch it. But yeah, like I think it was the third one where the brain alien, because they share a consciousness.
Yes,
and it's just so because the way that he takes your consciousness and he takes all your memories is he just fucking stabs you in the face.
Yep.
And slurps out your brain to this weird tube, and it's just so fucking dumb.
Good.
It's the second one that they do that.
Yes,
because the third one is whenever you find like the mama.
Yeah, you find the main. Yeah. A gut reaction. Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day. That's a great one. That is a good one.
Gut reaction. There's so many memorable lines.
Yeah.
There's Welcome to Earth. It's Welcome to Earth. Don't let anybody tell you it's Welcome to Earth. It's not.
It's Will Smith. Come on.
It's Will Smith. He punches the alien in the face and says, "Welcome to Earth." That's what he says. And then there's the president's speech.
Yeah,
which is a great speech. This will no longer be just an American holiday. This will be everybody's Independence Day.
There it is. He said the title.
Yeah, like that. And then, in the words of my people, up yours.
Flies the jet into the laser beam.
Boom! Blows the whole shit up.
Fucking saved the world.
Yep. Fucking awesome. That is sci-fi action.
That is a great
reaction.
Movie. Yeah, I would say that would definitely be up there in my top 5 at least, and if not in my top 3. Okay, and then we'll do medieval / fantasy.
I don't know if my medieval counts as an action movie.
No, I mean medieval action movies. This is all action movie.
I know,
it's
but
just medieval
it has
action,
but it's a drama action.
What is it?
A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. He's a jouster and a sword fighter.
I don't know. I'd say it was more of a drama, but I mean we'll count it because it's not like there's rules here.
Yes,
it's not like we're on a system or anything.
Yes, but you're always safe going with Heath.
Yeah, we're just me and Andrew actually talked about that on the car ride over here. We talked about how he was just fucked up in the head.
Yep.
And because I read an article about his diary, his Joker diary, and how terrifying it is.
Method actors.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, if someone goes, "Hey, get into character," yeah. If someone goes, "Hey, get into character," I'm like, "All right, I'm there." Like, that's
I'm in character.
That's just how I do it.
I go stay in a sketchy hotel.
I'm not about to fuck with that
for
a month and just ostracize myself from society for a month to get into the mindset of a crazy person. But yeah, anyway, so Knight's Tale. So do you know the monologue that the announcer does?
I do know.
Let's hear it.
Oh God. Now I have to think of it. You put me on the spot.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna look up the words to it just to make sure it's completely right.
Lords, ladies, and everybody else not sitting on a cushion. Today, you have you have the pride, nay, the pleasure of seeing a knight sired by knights. A knight who can trace his lineage back beyond Charlemagne. I first met him atop a mountain near Jerusalem, praying to God, asking for forgiveness for the Saracen blood spilt by his blade. He amazed me still further when he saved a fatherless beauty from the would-be ravishes of her dreadful Turkish uncle. He spent a year in silence, just to better understand the sounds of a whisper. So without further ado and with no more gilding the lily, I give to you the seeker of serenity, the protector of Italian virginity, the one, the only, Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Okay, you messed up 3 times.
God, I'm good.
Still impressive. You messed up 3 times.
Yep.
You said protector of Italian virginity. You forgot the enforcer of our Lord God. Yep. You forgot in Greece. He spent a year in silence. In Greece. He spent a year in silence. Yeah, so you forgot that part, and you said, and without further ado, gilding the lily. It's just without further gilding the lily. But still, that was amazing. I love hearing you do that just because it's like, God, you're such a fucking nerd. My best friend, ladies and gentlemen, he's a fucking dork.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, I'm glad we got you to do that. That's what I love about having our own show. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
I love that movie so much. I used to watch that movie like every single night. That and Armageddon.
I watched that quite a bit too. Armageddon, yes.
That and Armageddon. That's another one of my sci-fis, but it's not an action movie, so
yeah, it's a drama. Yeah, it's not any action, except for fucking what's his face from Boardwalk Empire shooting a gun. You idiot.
You can't do this. Ben Affleck.
Yeah. But anyway. Okay, my favorite. We're in medieval fantasy. I mean, like, I would have to say Lord of the Rings. Of course.
Oh well, fantasy.
Medieval fantasy. Yeah, it's a medieval fantasy.
God, I didn't even. Well, I was thinking
medieval. Yeah.
I was thinking medieval.
Okay, so would you like to change your answer?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, definitely.
All the way.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is just amazing. It's an unbelievable series of movies that will never be topped by anyone.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, the filmmaking, how they did, like, forced perspective and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's a lot more practical, practical effects than you would see in most things.
It's when you put a person far away and a person closer, and the person who's far away looks small in comparison to the person who's closer.
It's like whenever you look at those pictures in like elementary school with the lady that's closer than the man, but the man's actually like a giant.
But they're actually the same size. They're just far apart.
Yeah.
Well, in Lord of the Rings, they wanted to do forced perspective, but they wanted the cameras to move. So they developed an entire gimbal system where the actor in the background is moving at the same speed as the camera, so that you could have moving shots in forced perspective. The scene where Gandalf is being served tea by Frodo is a forced perspective shot. Frodo is actually, Elijah Wood is sitting about 10 feet behind the actor who plays Gandalf. I can't remember his name. Sir
Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian McKellen, who's sitting there, and the shot moves. Well, the table is actually split in 2 pieces. There's half of the table where Gandalf is and half of the table where Frodo is, and the camera is moving at the same speed that Frodo's table is moving and Gandalf's is stationary, because they wanted a forced perspective shot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they wanted the camera to move.
Man. Fucking Peter Jackson, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. They spent how many years over in New Zealand filming them all?
2. Right?
2 years?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, yeah.
2 years of your life.
It was insane.
2 years of your life.
I mean, not what's his name? Sean, whatever.
Sean was over there for a long time.
Yeah, he was over there for a long time, but not 2 years, because he was only in like
Liv Tyler.
The first.
Liv Tyler wasn't there for a lot. She would go and come and go, and she said she would never bring a car, so she would have Orlando Bloom drive her around New Zealand.
What the fuck? That's awesome.
Because she didn't bring her car. So her and Orlando would drive around, and
that's badass. I would love to be that level of fame.
Who plays
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, Viggo. He would only go places with his sword.
Awesome.
He always had his sword.
Man, there's so much stuff that we can talk about that movie. Like
we need to have a day just for Lord
We'll do that. We'll do that. You know, there's so much shit. Like how they had like the women of the town that they were shooting in play Uruk-hai.
Yep.
And like because the men were always farming.
The one commander
who was a man.
Was a man. And he was
a stunt coordinator.
7 foot tall.
He was the coordinator.
And he would get people fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, man. That movie's just insane. It's crazy. There's so many things to talk about.
Okay,
about that.
So moving on to the next
and then
favorite.
And then just reality war movies. Like just like in a real war, like Jarhead or Hurt Locker, and then like World War II. It doesn't matter, any war.
Hamburger Hill.
I've never seen it.
It's fantastic, based on a true story. The Battle for Hamburger Hill. God, I can't remember what war it was, but it follows a platoon taking Hamburger Hill. Like, that's the entire movie, and it's gritty, and it's real, and it's the background of how they're doing it, and them charging the hill and taking it, and everybody, the psyche of everybody inside the platoon. And it's just an amazingly, wonderfully done war movie. And coming from, a family where I have two brothers I have one brother who's in law enforcement, another brother who is an EOD specialist in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I know the military background, the military psyche, and I know it goes on through that. And so, like, The Hurt Locker, like, I was like, that's not how it really is, but it's a cool movie.
Yeah.
But seeing Hamburger Hill, you're like, that's it. That's how it is.
Let's see. I have to say my favorite war movie, like, that's based on a real war, would probably be We Were Soldiers. Yeah, with Mel Gibson.
Lay me down
in the cold, cold ground where I go. Many men have come. Oh my god, I fucking hate that song so much. Even like as a kid, I thought, what the fuck is that guy saying? This is stupid. Fucking speak English, man. It annoyed me. But yeah.
I also think Mel Gibson's in a whole nother realm of his own, too. He's done so many great things.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon, We Were Soldiers, The Patriot. War movie. Oh my god, I forgot about The Patriot.
Yeah, The Patriot. There's that. Also one of my like top 5 favorite war movies.
The Patriot.
That would be definitely my favorite, like, about the Revolution. There aren't any war
It's so inaccurate.
Movies about the...
It is so inaccurate.
The Patriot?
Yes. But it is so well done.
So you don't even give a fuck.
No.
You don't care. This is like, yes.
You're just like, that's
Mel Gibson
kill
fucking
an entire
hatcheting
platoon with a hatchet, with a tomahawk.
And his sons.
A tomahawk that he won in the French and Indian War.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that. It's a tomahawk.
Okay, and like spy / like, intelligence action movies.
Oh god. Oh Jesus. It's 3. And I'm gonna have to go with the Die Hard trilogy.
Okay.
Because there's only 3. I don't condone the next 2. I don't condone 5. There's only 3.
Okay.
And there's one thing you need to know about Die Hard. There are 2 types of people in the world that are split on Die Hard.
The people that think it's a
Christmas movie,
and the people who think it's an action movie,
and the people who are wrong.
Oh. Yeah. Fuck. There was a movie. I'm gonna try to look it up really quick. It was with do you know the guy who played Ron Weasley?
Yes. I don't know his name.
Yeah. He was in an action movie.
He was in an action movie?
I mean, it's a spy movie.
Okay. Or
Let's
anything
see.
with Jason Statham giving one-liners. Like Parker. Parker has my favorite badass one-liner. And it's when he's dropping the chick off that's helping him to get back at the other guys who tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And she's like, how do you sleep at night knowing you've killed so many people? And he stops the car and he looks over at her and he gives her the Jason Statham stare and he goes, I don't drink coffee after 7. And then it's like,
It was Wild Target, which
Wild
is
Target.
a movie that not many people have seen, but it is fucking awesome.
It is like The Jackal with Bruce Willis.
It's such a good movie. It stars Bill Nighy, I don't know, and then Emily Blunt is in it.
Yeah.
And basically, he basically is like an assassin.
Yeah.
And he has to kill Emily Blunt's character, but then is just like infatuated by her beauty that he doesn't do it. And then fucking Rupert Grint, Tony in the movie, just ends up like getting caught between this weird, like, there's an assassin who was paid to kill both of them because now this assassin's rogue. And so there's an assassin that has to kill all of them, and then he ends up getting caught between it, and so he ends up hanging out with Bill and Emily Blunt, and it's just so fucking stupid. And so at one point, Rupert Grint's character was like, teach me how to be an assassin, and I'll help you kill people. And so the whole thing, like, there's a point where he's like, he makes a joke where he's like, make sure to always clean your gun because my grandpa didn't clean one of his guns ever, and so one time he tried to shoot it, and the firing pin came back and stabbed him in the fucking face and killed him. And so in the house that they had, there was an old like Luger
Yeah.
And he had never used it or anything like that.
Was it like an actual Luger?
It was an actual Luger, but it hadn't been used since World War II.
Gotcha.
And so he like the other assassin came in and started fighting everybody and stuff like that, and then he picked up a Luger and went to go kill somebody, and he shot it, and the firing pin came back and stabbed him in the head and killed him. And so it was like that whole like full circle, like he's totally right about that. Oh man, and so it was so funny just to be like, oh shit. But yeah, there's a lot of like weird like comedy in it.
Yeah,
you know, where it'll just like he'll be fucking shooting people in the face 1 second, and then the next second he'll be like, well, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's a British action movie.
Action comedy.
Yeah.
We've only got 5 minutes, so you want to just keep talking about action movies?
Yeah.
we just blew through that topic.
Another underrated, wonderful action movie that I've always loved is Wanted.
Yeah, with Angelina Jolie.
Yep, with Angelina Jolie and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman is the bad guy.
Yeah. Ends up being the bad guy. I think it's cool how they kind of like pull the whole...
pull the wool over your eyes.
Yeah, where like this guy's actually been working.
Bad.
It's kind of like at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 3, whenever you find out that Nathan Kinway is actually a bad guy.
God, best opening to an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, where you're fucking playing as him and you think you're an assassin, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm a Templar, and it's like. Yeah, the achievement. Yeah, the achievement at the beginning of that episode, after you finish that chapter of the Animus, it goes, didn't see that coming. Yeah, that's the achievement, and it's like, holy fuck, that was crazy.
Because you're all like, Nathan Kinway, he's the coolest fucking person ever,
and then he's a Templar.
Wait, no, I fucking hate this guy, but I also think he's super cool.
Damn it, I feel so conflicted.
He falls in love with a Native American woman,
and he fucks her,
and then they have a child named Connor.
Yeah, because he totally wasn't around during the naming process. I don't think. I wouldn't imagine. I'm sure they go over like why he was named Connor. Wasn't it the black guy that he like was his mentor?
No,
really.
He said, "I'm Connor."
Oh, weird. But yeah, so that whole crazy thing where you're actually the bad guy and you didn't know.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in Wanted, where he's basically like, oh yeah, you've been killing like my enemies this whole time. You haven't been killing bad people.
Curving bullets.
Yeah, curving bullets. Like
Never gonna happen.
The first person, like that was like the first time anyone had done something like that, where bullets curved. No one in any spy / superhero movie where they curved fucking bullets. That was the first time, and it took like 50 years or 60 years of cinema to figure that out.
Jolie, is like, yeah. And she's like, you're the good guy, I'm a good guy. And she curves the bullet all and it kills all the people around.
And then it shoots her in the head.
Shoots her in the head.
Like, bitch, you could have gotten out of the fucking way. I think everyone has that little conflicted.
Yeah, but she was like, I'm a bad guy too. I've got to go.
Yeah, so she kills herself.
So she kills herself.
I just love the scene whenever he's getting the shit beat out of him all the time. I love like the training sequence where he just gets fucking just pummeled.
God, I haven't watched that movie in forever.
That's a good movie. Underrated action movie that I like a lot. Well, I mean, my favorite sci-fi action movie is Starship Troopers, so I think my perspective is a little fucking skewed.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Let's see. What's my favorite underrated action movie?
Underrated action movie.
I'm trying to think of an underrated action movie.
Shooter.
Oh, that's not. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe it would be underrated, but I think it's a.
I know a lot of people who
with
don't
Marky
like
Mark.
Shooter.
Really,
with Marky Mark. He does not have the Funky Bunch with him. Spoilers.
Yeah. No, I think okay. So my favorite underrated action movie would be Ironclad. Have you seen that with the knights?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on Netflix if you guys want to go check it out. It's fucking awesome. Basically, like it's after King Richard.
Yep.
Like was being a dick, and he ended up having to sign the Magna Carta, but he just said fuck the Magna Carta, and instead after signing it just said piss on that, and then tried to kill all the knights that
Richard was a dick.
all the nobles that rebelled against him, and so they were on their way to this to pass this river, and then once they got past the river, they would kill everyone that's on the other side of it, which is like the rest of the country. So they had to hold this one stronghold that basically holds all the foot traffic over that river. Yeah. And so they have to like hold it, and it's like 15 dudes against like an army of thousands, and it's fucking sweet. It's a badass movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good underrated action movie that most people haven't heard of. It's fucking sweet.
Army of Darkness.
Never seen it.
You've never seen the Evil Dead trilogy?
No.
Oh, Jordan, we're gonna have to sit down. Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell. The first two are horror movies, and in the first one, he cuts off his hand because it gets infected with the evil.
Yeah.
And he gets infected with the evil dead, and so
I think you've talked about this with me before.
Cuts off his hand and then replaces it with a chainsaw.
Yeah, you've told me about this before. I haven't seen it.
And the best part is the montage scene where he's making the harness to hold the chainsaw onto his arm.
Yeah.
So he's got a chainsaw arm, and then he cuts off the end of his shotgun, his boomstick, as he calls it in Army of Darkness. And then he spins it, and he puts it on his back, and they close up on Bruce Campbell, and he goes, groovy.
Wow.
And that's the scene cut.
Man. Well, it was definitely a good, very lengthy talk about action movies.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we could have gone so much. With all the shit that we talk about, there's never-ending routes and avenues we could take to talk about stuff, which is I think what makes us really good podcast hosts.
Yeah.
Since I'm so modest. I guess that's going to be the end of our show. We're at 45 minutes right now. So, yay! We did it.
We're the last action heroes.
Yeah.
People who get that reference are laughing their ass off.
Yeah, we're the last of the Mohicans.
We're the last of
one other
Mexicans. I am Mantequilla.
One other good revolutionary, almost around that same period, 1700s action movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. This is Will Tart signing off.
And this is Jordan Black signing off. Have a good day and Godspeed.